Hello and welcome to Ask the Accountant Pitstop Podcasts. Today, in this interview, I'm chatting to the wonderful James from Hammock. So James, let's get started. Tell us who you are, what you do, and what Hammock do.
Cool. Yeah. So thank you. My name's James. I'm the head of business development at Hammock, and we are the accounting platform for landlords. So I've been at Hammock since day one. I was, employee number one, I guess you'd call it. So I've seen the whole journey back from when we, pre-product through to when we launched. We're initially just selling to landlords, and then we kind of realised after just getting lots of messages from our clients' accountants that there was actually a huge need for accountants to have like direct access to this data. So funnily enough, like we're obviously having this conversation at a trade show. But the first time we tested the accountant idea was at a trade show. It was the digital accountancy show, actually.
Was that the one just after COVID?
It was at Tottenham, yeah.
Yes, I remember you having your little booth there and walking past going, who's Hammock?
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, there was a few people that went, who's that? Because that was like the first conference back after COVID.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of new names there.
Yeah. And it kind of just exploded after that. So we do still sell direct to landlords, but accountants is actually by far the biggest side of our business.
Yeah, I always try and convince QuickBooks, like, you can spend £10 million on a TV advert and get one or two soap companies, or you can spend £1 million advertising to accountants, and for every one of those that sign up, you get 100 businesses.
Yeah, the scale is it's unrivaled.
Yeah.
But it also is because actually the accountants benefit like an awful lot from the software. So
yeah, having clients that are on Hammock myself, and having landlords that are not on Hammock and insist on using a spreadsheet, I know which ones we're able to do the accounts for quicker, and which clients have got a better insight to their financial performance throughout the year, shall we say.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's obviously one part of it is the tax submission, but actually, especially like right now, with everything that landlords are going through Section 24 has been here for a while, but when you add in rising mortgage rates, EPC changes, there's so much stuff that landlords are facing. It's actually really hard to even make a profit at the moment. So actually knowing your figures and being on top of what's going on, even as like a part-time landlord, has genuinely never been so important. So
it's brutal out there, and I don't foresee it getting any easier very quickly. If anything, it's probably going to get a bit tougher for them at this rate, isn't it? So, okay, so we know who you are and what you do. Why Accountex North?
Yeah, so we get a lot of business from trade shows, but Accountex North obviously is a really good opportunity. So many of them are based in the South and the Midlands, and this is actually a really nice chance to get to a new area where sometimes you don't, some of the firms here won't come all the way down to London. But you can catch them in here, and I certainly we actually, I know you're based in Scotland. We get a lot of Scottish firms who will come to this show, but maybe wouldn't go further. And there's something about the size of this show. I think it really hits a nice balance between, it's intimate, but it also look around. Look how many people are here. So you're having a ton of conversations, but they do tend to be a really good level of conversation. There doesn't appear to be many people who are just here just to see what's happening. Like they're here to make decisions. They're here.
No tire kickers.
Yeah, they're here to make decisions, find what's out there, and find a good solution. So we've always had an amazing time here, so far today it's been great.
Good. Yeah, it seems to be well attended. A lot of the people we're speaking to are saying how good the theatre sessions are. And the quality of those sessions are. Whereas sometimes I think there's too many sessions and the quality can be hit.
Unfortunately, I'm always so busy at the stands. I don't
really
get much
to look at it.
We're quite near Theatre One, so I heard a bit of some of the talks this morning. But look, they're all standing room only, so clearly well attended.
No, and that's not a. There's worse things to be suffering from being too busy to attend to speaking to.
Well, that's
so brilliant. Okay, what do you most look forward to when you're coming to an Accountex event or any event for accounting?
Yeah, well, there's something about coming out and actually meeting people face to face, because so much of our life, certainly at Hammock, we are a very digital company. So much of it is done over Zoom and things like that. So, and it just is not the same. You cannot replicate that face to face contact. So it's really good for new conversations. But one of the things I love is our existing clients who will come up. Might be people that I've spoken to 100 times over the phone, email, Zoom. and then you actually meet them in person, and but it feels like you know them, but even though it's the first time you're meeting them, and it's always nice. They usually have really nice stories about like a client that they've just put on that's having a great time, and so I love hearing all of that. And then obviously I run the sales team here, so for some of my, especially my newer staff, like actually it's days like today when they actually really meet the people in person, where they start to really understand like who they're dealing with. Because I think accountants are quite a unique market, and I think sometimes people, certainly I've had people in our team who kind of go into it thinking accountants are going to be quite scary, and actually realize that they're all most people are just like want to very friendly, want to have a laugh.
So it becomes a good team building event for your team, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, and so I say we always book the same hotel, which is really fun. And then so went out for a nice team dinner last night. And
plug the hotel you're using, just because Aaron, myself, and Lizzie are staying there, and it's incredible. Yeah,
it's the Brewdog in Manchester, the dog house. The other hotels are available.
They are, but they don't have a shower fridge.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool hotel. And it was the first year we came, our CEO actually surprised us all. We thought we were staying somewhere else, and then went there for a beer, and then he was like, "Oh, by the way, here's your room key." So yeah, it was really cool. So that's kind of a tradition, and and then we got some of our team who are from Manchester, so they always take us to a really nice restaurant and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
know the area. Brilliant. What's the highlight of your day been so far?
Highlight of the day so far. I mean, I did have I had an amazing breakfast actually at the dog house.
Did you? Yeah. We were out of there by 6:30 this morning, so we didn't have breakfast. Really, We're there tomorrow, so we're going to have breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like gochujang bacon bao buns.
Oh, I saw those.
Really good.
Yeah.
But unfood related. I think probably the highlight today is just a couple of our existing clients who we've just came over, and they're just like, "Oh, we love Hammock," all that stuff.
Just reaffirms all that work you're doing throughout the year. It's for a reason.
Yeah.
And look at Apple events. They always plug at the start of their events now, when they're going to launch something about the iWatch, that the life-saving stories of it detected my heart attack before I knew, and it saved my life. So those stories from our clients and your users just so important.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I even had somebody, it wasn't actually at this event, but another event, they were just saying they had this one landlord who was just a nightmare. They never knew what was going on. It would take them literally days to prepare a tax return.
Yeah.
And they said he did it in 10 minutes.
Wow.
And it's stories like that. It's just
all of a sudden you've got a good client.
Yeah, and then straight away I'm thinking, right, can I just clip that and can we turn that into an ad?
That's it, yeah. I want this case study. I want social media posts.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's really cool.
Brilliant. So obviously this is a busy day. You've just been saying it's been a busy day already on the stand. How do you guys hold yourselves accountable and take action afterwards? How do you make sure you take value from this day?
A lot of it, there's a lot of planning that goes into it beforehand in terms of prepping the team, but also making sure we do everything from tablets. So a lot of it is around the special offer that we'll normally have some kind of special offer on the day.
Yeah.
To activate that offer, you need to book in for a certain meeting, which we'll be running for the next few weeks. So a lot of the capture happens through meetings and bookings.
Yep.
But obviously we have the scanner apps and things. So the idea is that, actually it starts on the train home tonight. Everything gets downloaded, everything gets organized, everything has to have comments, notes, so we know exactly who's speaking to who, when and where. Because really, these events aren't cheap.
No, you've got to make value of them.
And you need to squeeze every bit you can out of it. So, but I think the first time we went to one of these events, I don't think we did it that well, but you learn very quickly. Yeah, you learn very quickly. Planning for an event like this, in my head, happens probably 2 months ago.
Right.
And then it comes to the team maybe a week or two before, and then it builds. And then, the real work starts as soon as it shuts. We get on the train and then
start processing
that
data.
Yeah, because you with anything in sales, the heat of a lead, it starts really warm. Every day that passes, it gets cooler and cooler. And somebody who came to your stand and saw it and thought it was so cool, suddenly in a week they can't quite remember that cool feeling. And so time is so important. So we don't waste a second, essentially.
Brilliant. Now, the question we've been asking everyone is best swag of the event, or what do you look for in good swag? And before we started recording, you made a bold statement, shall we say? So take me through your Hammock's approach to swag.
Yeah, so
and what the theory is behind that.
Yeah, so we used to do what everybody does, and you bring a load of stuff, and and you put it out, and then everyone goes home with like 4 water bottles and 5 tote bags and things like that. And my personal view, and this is really my personal view, is that I've found at these events, the people who are really interested in swag, not that interested in you're actually buying anything. Yep. And the people who are really interested in your product actually don't care about swag. They've got 100 other of these things. Yep. So we took the approach kind of for that reason, but also like environmental reason. I think there's certainly our leadership team like don't really like the idea of people at home having 10 water refillable water bottles and you need one. So we this year, the last few events, including this one, we've done a no swag policy.
Right.
That's not to say that I haven't seen some good swag. I've seen employment hero capes running around.
Yep.
And but yeah, I don't know. It's a personal view for us. We decided not to do it this year, and actually, so far, even the reaction from people has been really positive. So, so I think it's something we'll probably continue.
I think you're completely right. Like, I never used to drink out of water bottles until I met my wife. I used to have glasses and cups, and then have to do the washing up. But my wife just always had a water bottle with her. Now I've got a different water bottle for every room of the house and spares in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to throw them away and be wasteful. Yeah. But I keep seeming to hoard these things, and they keep coming out of nowhere. Yeah,
and I think a lot of the stuff it is kind of throwaway stuff.
Yeah.
It's not to say there's not a place for like a really good bit of swag.
Yeah.
But I think I think we should probably we should think about it a little bit more.
Like definitely. I mean, like QuickBooks did QuickBooks trainers that I wear to pretty much all events where I'm working with QuickBooks. I use their bags that I've got. I do try and use the swag I get in everyday life. Otherwise, it does just go to waste.
And I know it's same for. I speak to vendors who have like boxes and boxes of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It doesn't feel like of the moment.
No, not when everyone's so conscious about what we're putting back into the environment and stuff like that, and what we're taking out of the earth and stuff. So no, I like your approach. What do you love most about the industry?
Good question.
Were you in the industry before Hammock?
No, my background is banking actually. So I just got really bored of.
I can see that.
I wanted to move into the startup world, and I very long story short, I ended up off the back of listening to a podcast episode, going to work for a startup in San Francisco for a few months. Then couldn't get a proper visa, couldn't get like the full visa. Yeah. So I ended up coming back, but then the bug had got me then, and I knew I didn't want to go back. And actually, a mutual friend introduced me to Manoj, who's the CEO of Hammock.
Yep. He's the guy walking around with a black hoodie emblazoned with a gold hammock.
He is indeed.
Is he the only one that's got the gold one?
Yeah, he told me I'll get one when I reach 5 years, which is coming up soon, and so we'll see.
We'll hold him to that.
If he delivers on that. But
some people get Rolexes. You want a hoodie with a gold logo on it.
Yeah. So I met Manoj, and it kind of really tied into what I had been interested in and what I'd been doing before.
Yeah.
So and then I say, to be honest, I thought I was joining a prop tech startup, and at the start we weren't really planning to come down the accountant route. We were pulled this route by accountants kind of telling us, like, we need this. Ended up working in the accountancy space. And I think, I don't know, I don't have the comparisons with other industries, but I just think the people are just so nice. Yeah. I think maybe it's because accountants deal with people's businesses as livelihoods. It gives them a level of empathy to like what's going on all around in the wider economy. And I think there's like something to be said for like what that then makes you put out into the world. Yeah. But I just think, even today, like everyone I meet on that stand is like, they're so nice, kind, polite, funny. Yeah. And just, we're just having a laugh over there most of the day.
Working hard.
But it's a really fun industry. I don't have 10 other I could compare it to, but I think it feels like there's something quite unique about accountants.
Right. Okay. And off the back of that then, is there anything you would like to change about the industry?
I guess, I think selfishly, tech adoption, right? More and more firms. I do feel like I'm surprised the level at which accountants are sometimes scared to tell their clients how they are going to do their job.
Yep.
If you hired a builder, like you wouldn't tell him how to lay bricks. Yep. But I feel like accountants quite often are scared to say to clients, look, this is how we do it. This is our process. Yep. These are the steps to follow. And I do think that I just know from my experience with my own accountant, if my accountant tells me to do something, I try to do it without thinking. If they ask me, do you want to do this? What do you think about that? Then I suddenly start thinking and take the lazy option.
Yep.
So I think I would like to see accountants be a bit more deliberate and forceful with the way, like decide how they want to run their practice, and then go out and tell their clients that's how they're running.
This is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Is that what you've? I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah, we are. That is something we kind of realised. I'd like to have realised it earlier in the journey.
Yeah.
With new clients, we do say, look, this is how we work. This is how you give us out your. We've still got those legacy clients where we're still a bit, we'll pop around and pick up your paperwork, and actually all you need to do is use the app to take the picture.
Why don't you get rid of those clients?
Because they're good clients.
Okay.
They're like every other part of that client is A-class. They refer us.
Okay.
They respect our time, which a lot don't.
Yeah.
Their work's fairly easy, and every time you go in and pick up that cafe's paperwork, they're going to insist on you, no matter how many times you say no, they're going to insist on you having a coffee and a bacon roll, a slice of cake.
Okay, it's the bacon roll.
It is the relationships there
Yeah.
that actually, for the sake of scanning some paperwork once every few months, it's fine.
Because I definitely find that on this whole topic, I speak to accountants, and the happiest accountants I speak to get rid of their worst 5 or 10 clients every year. And I speak to other accountants, so they have clients who they haven't put their fees up in 20 years. They won't change the process of this because they're scared of upsetting them.
Yep.
They end up, the profitable is that client, because they're paying fees from 20 years ago, isn't even profitable. Yep. I'm just like, why are you bothering? It sounds like these aren't that type of clients.
No, they're not. We do have clients like that where we are clearing them out on an annual basis. Yeah. We have a review and it's like, right, let's get rid of these ones. But when we've come across an issue where the client's not gelling with their client manager, I always try and assume it's a personality thing first.
Yeah.
Let's see if they get on better with this person instead, or that person. But after a while, you get to the point where it's like, right, they've got through a few client managers. No one wants to work with them.
Yeah.
The problem's not the client managers. The problem's the client.
Yeah.
So, we try and give them the benefit of the doubt, but eventually end up getting rid of some.
Yeah.
Or they realise themselves this isn't working, and they go off their own accord.
Yeah.
At which point we're like, yes, finally. Cool. Okay, so more assertiveness in their, it's their business. They tell the customer how it works.
But I think they all. I speak to a lot of accountants who say, they say this is how I want to run my practice, and the only thing from stopping them running their practice like that is themselves, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it's within their power to do.
It's important to do.
Yeah, it is important.
Yeah.
And you get left behind otherwise.
Oh, definitely. So at Hammock, what's your ideal client? Who's the right person to set up with your software?
Yeah, so, I guess, obviously there's two ways of looking at that. You've got the landlord side, in which case really any residential landlord. Doesn't matter how many properties you've got. We cover everything from just a single property accidental landlord who just wants something that's going to automatically run on the side to the landlord with 50 to 100 properties who wants the full analysis and breakdown and is logging in every day. But on the accountant side, I guess again, in terms of size, it doesn't matter. Our ideal client is more an attitude or a state of mind. It's somebody who's digital first, wants to provide a greater service to their clients, wants to save time, and actually realize, and realizes that technology is the way to do that. I say if an accountant has that mindset, it doesn't matter to me whether they have one client, 5,000 clients.
Yeah.
They will love Hammock and have a great experience and tell 10 other people how great it is,
Brilliant. Okay, so topic of the month, AI, or topic of the year, shall we say, AI.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on AI? Do you see a place for it in Hammock? Do you see a place for it in the accounting industry as a whole?
Yeah, so my thoughts on AI, depends how deep you want to go on this, but I think in general, there is a level of AI that is a bit terrifying.
Yep.
And I think the move for regulation is probably a really good one. But taking away all the doomsday scary stuff away, if you just think of it being cool and in your day to day, I think there's definitely a place for it. There's certainly a place for it in Hammock. We're already looking at ways we can use AI to kind of really improve to limit the amount of work that the client or the accountant has to do. Because we have the data, and the smarter we can make that tracking and everything. It just saves everybody a lot of time. But I think also just in terms of the way I get the most value from AI in my job is automating tasks, like data that I need to find, email templates, presentation templates. Now, I don't think the tools are quite there where they get you 100% of the way.
Yeah.
But they'll do 80% of it.
80% is better than nothing.
100%. Yeah. And it's like, so I think, in terms of like, and to be honest, they're the tasks that nobody really likes doing. Well, at least I don't really like doing. So anything like that I can get. One thing I do sort of find funny is like, and I think this isn't just in the accounting software industry, this is kind of in every industry. I think AI is such a buzzword now that like, there's a lot of people claiming something's AI when it isn't.
Yeah, I mean,
we've still got
people in the accounting world claiming something's cloud when it's not. It's just linked to a server somewhere.
Yeah. But I think, but if the idea behind AI is smarter tech, more efficient, saving time, less time doing monotonous tasks and more time doing the value-add, client-facing advisory stuff, then I think I'm all for it.
Right. Okay. How did you discover us? As a podcast.
Well, I think obviously you were a client.
Yep.
Aaron was a client, and you both were posting stuff on LinkedIn, and so I think I just picked it up through that way. But yeah.
There we go, producer Lizzie. We now know.
LinkedIn works.
Yeah, I've always said that. No one believed me, but I've always said it. Cool. So thank you very much for your insights. This is your opportunity to plug Hammock, plug whatever you like. Pick a camera of your choice, and feel free to plug whatever you want. Where do people come and find you? Obviously this is going to go out after the event, so how can they come and find you afterwards? Is there any content you think they should be watching or looking at or following? Choose a camera and carry on.
Cool. Yeah. So I guess if you are an accountant out there and you've got landlord clients and you are sick of wasting time chasing them all year for data, when it comes in, spending hours copying stuff manually into spreadsheets, doing all of this in sort of December and January, and you actually just want to streamline this, get your tax returns done in April and May, then come and speak to us at Hammock. I guess best ways to find us are our website, which is usehammock.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn, James Kilpatrick. So I'm the head of business development. Or email me, james@usehammock.com.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, James, for joining us on this episode of Ask the Accountant Pitstop Podcasts. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll be back with you with another episode very shortly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.